this GoPro is picking it up, but we're running at about minus 20 vacuums. Yeah.
Welcome back to 0 to 60, and today we're back in the crashed Supercharged M5.
And I'm excited because it means I'm not working on a turbo right now.
Now, if you remember, as we come in from that first drive video, literally as we're pulling back in the driveway, we both commented it and said it doesn't quite feel as powerful as it probably should do.
Doesn't feel like 600 horsepower.
It doesn't even feel...
It feels like the M5, the E60.
Honestly, it feels about 500. Hey. Since then, we've been pretty busy, as you know, playing with Andrew's N54, but some mates did come over and wanted to hear this thing in the flesh start up. So we had it idling, and they pretty quickly noticed that the blow-off valve wasn't sealing, it was just blowing straight away.
Well, not just straight away, it just doesn't matter what the revs are doing, there always seems to be air coming out of the blow-off valve, doesn't there?
Yeah, and because there was just so much going on the first drive, neither Andrew or I were checking the boost gauge, so we're not actually sure if it was making boost that whole time.
And that might explain why we thought maybe it doesn't feel that towy.
Yeah, so that's what we're going to check out today. We'll throw some cameras on it, pull it up, let it warm up, and then just make sure that it is actually making positive boost or positive pressure on the engine.
Let's get into it.
It's actually not too loud, is it?
No, it's funny, when we started up the first time, we didn't really sit there and let it just idle.
No, yeah, and as soon as it gets off cold start, it's fine.
I can see why
Ali managed
to daily it.
Yeah.
It's just such an animal when you're on the gas. All right, we've checked water, oil, nothing's changed since the last drive, which was about a month ago now. God, doesn't time fly?
Was it really a month?
It was.
That's bad. I guess we are halfway through June.
Time is dissolving. And we're not going to go crazy like we did on that last drive, guys. This is just purely to see, third gear, we can get some boost happening. Now, hopefully this GoPro is picking it up, but we're running at about minus 20 vacuums. I don't know the proper
vacuums, yep.
Minus PSIs?
Hoovers, I think.
Hoovers. Yeah, so we'll just go for a cruise and see if we get some boost. Now we can make the needle come up to nearly zero free revving it. Well, we did the other day. But we can't get it into the positive when we're not moving. But I'm pretty confident you do need to be moving to get boost, don't you?
I think the engine does have to be under load. Obviously, with a turbo it obviously does. But I think that rule applies to
Superchargers as well.
As well, yeah.
So you're just going to do a massive power skid straight away?
Yeah, just to warm it up properly.
Yep.
No. So we'll cruise. We'll make sure everything still drives safely.
Oh, the Supercharger sounds so cool.
It does sound good.
I bet the mics aren't picking it up, but every time you change, because of that blow-off valve, you just hear these noises.
It's amazing. Second gear is still a bit notchy. I'll see if that gets a bit better as
she warms up.
Yeah. And this clutch too.
Heavy.
Yep.
Bit of a hill start. Okay, I'm watching it. She's coming up to 0. 0, 0, 0. No boost.
No boost, okay. It's not under mass load.
Still smells ridiculously fuely.
Like the inside of a fuel tanker.
Yeah. It just smells like race car.
It's funny.
It just reminds me of old carburetor race cars.
Oh, I did wind the coilovers off a little bit as well.
I was about to say it feels smoother.
It's not as it's not as race car now, is it?
It almost feels comfortable.
Again, dailyable.
Yeah. Well, I remember the first time. I remember thinking this is stiffer than my Evo.
Yeah.
Where it's not now. Yeah. All right, we've got the straight road. It should get boost like pretty quickly by 3-4 grand.
Ready?
Yeah. 4th gear. No boost.
No boost. Okay. In here.
Yeah. Actually, that hill will be good to load it up.
Yeah, true. Brakes feel pretty darn good.
Went into second, all right then?
It wasn't too bad, yeah.
He was looking.
He was a lot. You ready?
Yeah. We're getting boost.
That felt like it had boost then.
That was about 3 psi.
Really?
Yeah.
That felt quicker than it did in that entire first drive.
I wonder if Nick was right and the blow-off valve has seized up a little bit and it's not getting proper, it's not closing properly.
It's worth having a look into.
I think in 4th gear, just roll on now and see if it builds boost, yeah. No boost, no boost, no boost, no boost, no boost. Little bit of boost. Like 1 or 2 psi.
1 or 2. And that was like nearly 3 grand. I'll try third. You ready?
Yep. No boost. No, that still feels... Okay, that got boost. But again, we're talking like 3 psi.
It feels really fast today. Do you reckon?
I'm looking at the boost gauge, so it feels warp speed, even though we're probably not going that quick.
That feels much better than it did that entire first drive.
Something just fall off?
There was a noise.
Oh well. So we're not getting 5 psi though. So I think head back
And we'll check out that blow-off valve.
I think so. So, this is what I want to show you guys. So obviously the car's just idle, and look at how much air, I don't know if you can see, but like there's heaps of air coming out of the blow-off valve. So she's completely open right now. And actually I'll hold it and I'll get you to just rev it a little bit.
Okay, give it a tickle.
Yeah. So you can see there, sorry, terrible camera angle. When you shut the throttle bodies, it does do its blow-off valve thing, but there seems to be air bypassing it all the time anyway, and I just don't know if it's supposed to do that.
And so even that time, although it felt definitely quicker just then than it did
The first drive.
Is the blow-off valve on its way out? Like, we've had some great comments, particularly on that on the first drive video. Some guys running the Evolve system, which is similar to this, but they were saying just how much of an animal...
Actually, I'm going to shut it off.
Yeah. You can stop yelling then.
Yeah, so basically, we want to know, is that repairable? Do you just need to replace it?
Well, firstly, is that normal? Is it supposed to be blowing air like that? If it's not, is it worth cracking it open, trying to fix it, or... Well,
that was... Sorry, we'll be able to double check in the footage, but when I was watching that boost gauge, under full load then, and were you wide open throttle?
A couple
as
of
it
times.
went through the revs?
A couple of times.
I don't reckon it went over 3 psi, where I'm pretty sure these are supposed to be 4 or 5 psi.
Yeah, or 5.5 even, or 6 psi, something like that. So
did not get to 5.
So it's nearly only making half the boost that it probably should be.
Is that because it's bleeding off through the blow-off valve?
It's very possible. If you guys can shed any light, that would be awesome. And then, if that is the case, what's the best way to get it fixed? So I just need to buy a new bolt? Because actually, just then, that felt a lot quicker. I don't know if you could tell, because if you were concentrating on the boost gauge,
it spun the wheels, didn't it?
In the dry, yeah.
Like, it didn't really spin them in the wet last time.
No, and I wasn't even when it was spinning the tyres. As it started with that tight diff, it stepped out, so I've backed off, and then I've just gone a little bit more, and it span again. That's the response I was expecting from a supercharged S62.
That's more like how Ali described it.
Yeah.
The other thing, because we like to spend money that we shouldn't be spending, Dave's already thinking about upgrading this, aren't you?
In terms...
The system.
From everything I can read, obviously it is a great setup, but the Achilles heel is the heat generated by these beasts.
And we are huge fans of Evolve. We've been following Evolve since that first video on X-Car, God knows how long ago.
Which was, yeah, back from the E60 M5 days.
And then when Andrew got his E60 M5 tuned with the Evolve tune. Anyway, huge fans of Evolve, and obviously their Supercharger kits run a front mount intercooler.
Yes.
So we're sort of thinking, can we modify this, add an intercooler somehow?
Yeah, because that should hopefully increase the performance again. Obviously, we've got to get it running properly first. But
heat's a big issue in Queensland, so
yeah, I mean, it's the middle of the winter at the moment, and we're still shorts, t-shirt,
and sweating.
Yeah, and it was raining this morning. So yeah, if you shed any light on the possibilities of intercooling these ESS systems, or it was a commenter actually running an Evolve system, just saying how much of an animal his car is.
This felt a bit more animal-like, but it didn't the first time.
Yeah, yeah.
Dude, I wonder if that's sticking or something. Will they stick and maybe it's starting to close up more than it did on the first drive?
Very possible. I mean, I guess it wasn't that on our first drive. It wouldn't have had any boost for months and months. Is that enough for it to start to
stick?
Yeah. And then after that first drive and then that drive, maybe it's starting to free up.
And we might have done 4 or 5 free rev sessions in the meantime if people come around and check it out. So it's been used 3 or 4 times, I suppose, since that first video, hasn't it? Well, it's been heat cycled, put it that way. Yeah.
Oh, and whilst we're here at the car, you probably noticed that it's running a E39 Sport 17-inch wheel. That is because the M5 wheel that's on there was damaged on the truck coming up. And we've taken it to our friends at Sunshine Wheel Repairs, so they are repairing with the factory shadow chrome look, which should look mint.
And I guess that's probably going to be it. We need to work out, make sure this thing's boosting properly, and as soon as my turbos are done, which should be this week, we'll get this in on the hoist, start changing the front over so we can get a bonnet on it.
Yeah, that's the first thing. We'll literally just start unbolting this rad support, make sure everything's straight. We'll put the front end from my parts car onto this one.
Then we can actually drive it to the panel shops. Because
throw a bonnet on it.
It's a bit naughty driving it too far without a bonnet.
I like it though, I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to lie.
Calm down, Cletus.
Especially with the noise this thing makes.
It does sound gnarly.
Cool.
All right, is that going to end off for this video?
I think that'll do for now, but please share whatever knowledge you do know about these BOVs and these systems for intercoolers and all that sort of stuff. But as always, thank you very much for watching.
Peace.